Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Amanda.
and this is I'm Your Mother Now podcast.
Season 2, episode.
4, 5.
It's gotta be 3 or 4. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry,
Whatever.
it
It's
is.
not like we put the episode numbers in the title, so no one fucking knows anyway. Good
It doesn't
morning.
matter. Good morning.
Good morning to episode. It doesn't fucking matter, okay?
Who
If
cares?
you've made it this far, the men aren't listening anymore, okay? We've got an open forum here, ladies. Just like, let's go.
Skincare.
Uh, oh,
Oh,
speaking of skincare, don't I look delicious?
you do look well.
Thank you.
You've been glowing. Remember how mad you were after getting that chemical peel on your face and it was all peeling and that's never happened for you before and you were so angry, but now look at you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do have, you can't actually see it. Wow, it's really big because, unlike, uh, this is a thing. People love pimping popples. People love popping pimples.
Yes.
But I'm not one of those people.
Mm.
I think that you should leave them alone until they are ready and then they
Mm-hmm.
will pop. Okay. And that is the best thing that you can do for your skin. And I will tell you, Sarah, that you know who told me that? You know who gave me that pointer?
Dad.
No, our mother. So thanks, Mom. I don't pop my pimples and look at my beautiful skin. I have not an acne scar to be seen.
Well, follow us for all of the hard-hitting journalism.
I mean,
I mean,
anyhow.
you're not wrong. That's an actual thing, and I have popped every pimple that's ever made its way near my face. And I do have a lot of scarring. So we've made our choices and it is what it is. I mean, who cares right now?
Um,
Anyway,
well, you know what I was thinking? I feel like I follow this influencer. Oh my God, I think her name is Andy.
we're not
and
doing that.
she and she lives in Ukraine, and I just find she's very funny. She's very like deadpan about like comments people leave her, but she often has like a star face like
Oh,
stick.
the
And I'm
patch.
like, yeah, I'm that would just be like perfect. It's almost like an under construction sign for your face, right? Because it's like, okay, before you just have this pimple and you just think that everyone's looking at it, right? But now it's like, now everyone knows there's a pimple under there. I'm hiding it so you don't have to see it. I'm a whip right now, okay? WIP, come back soon.
I am listening to you. I just
I
have to
know I
swipe.
can see for those of you who are not able to see why my sister was so distracted, it's because she is using a spray bottle to spray at her cat so her cat doesn't scratch on your couch.
Yes. The only problem is it's a gentle mist spray bottle for your
Is
hair.
it? Yeah, I have the same one.
So it's more of like a gentle rain mist for her and she's like, "Oh,
She's like,
I love
oh,
the."
she's like, that's not so bad.
She's like, I have a new couch and it really does. I didn't even think about it, but it really does resemble a massive scratching post
It's
here.
unfortunate.
And I just want her not to do that. So if I get distracted, that's what it is. But let's get into the day because it's been a real hell of a week, sister. Hell of a
And
year, really, if we want to be real about it. Um, so a lot of things have happened, and um, you didn't want to do the podcast today, and I was like, no, we have to because I have things that I need to chat with you about. I have hardly spoken to you all week because you've decided to be working, which has been really difficult for me.
yeah.
That you did that, and
Mhm.
we had the second eclipse. So eclipse season is quote unquote over, and we're still in Mercury retrograde. And the energy, who hi Beth, we're going to call the energy Melissa.
Ooh, code
Yeah.
words.
We were out at our favorite spot on Monday and talking about the universe and decided her name is Melissa because
All right.
it's what was the term? Just serving just enough cunt, right?
Oh
Because
my God.
yeah, because Melissa is a lot of things. She can be Missy, right?
Uh-huh.
She can be Lissa. We said she could be Mel if she's a lesbian, right? There's a lot that Melissa can get into, but one thing she will do is absolutely take you through some things, okay? And you really should treat her specifically and make her a friend and not a foe. So,
Yeah, literally. How do we treat her specifically? Do we
well,
just, I mean, you know what? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your train of thought, but I think it's funny because I did call you when I was coming back from dinner one of the nights. So it was like almost 8 o'clock. And
mm.
I said to you, um, did you know that there's going to be a lunar eclipse?
And I was like, what the hell, Amanda?
You
It's
were like,
like
you were like, I've been literally talking about nothing else than
nothing
eclipse
else
season. And it's
the
like, well,
whole
I
time.
thought that meant like, total eclipse of the heart. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize that we were actually talking about the moon, which is silly on my
Very
part.
silly on your part, and it's really been a doozy. And if you are a person who follows the astrology, it is really interesting to follow it these days because a lot of the things the astrologists have been saying for years that was going to happen is literally happening right now. And it's, you know, I guess the universe is math, right? So as above, so below. So things that are happening in the the big theater are also happening in your neighborhood cinema, which is your
Hmm.
your movie, right? So kind of I want to zoom in from the macro only because it's going to really overwhelm me to talk about the world ending.
For sure.
But it's been a rough week. One of the things that happened that I wanted to discuss with you is I had an experience for the first time of deciding not to work with a client because of
Mm.
my own personal feelings.
Hmm.
And I didn't think that would ever happen for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really know that. But if you think about it, it makes perfect sense.
It does.
And
If
I
we
think
are
that
humans,
people
yes.
people also they position it the other way, right? They're like you can speak to multiple therapists. You can like BetterHelp is always saying you can change your therapist at any time if it's not a good
Yeah.
fit. And it's like, but if you truly are speaking to someone and you're there for a reason, like there needs to be a connection, right? There needs to be like you know, yeah,
Well,
okay.
the connection, yes, but also it's getting to the point now where me as a woman, a person of color, a queer person, I am not willing to separate those parts of my identity to hold space for somebody who believes I shouldn't exist.
I would say that is incredibly fair, Sarah.
Yes, and but it was a new experience for me and it really was a
Hmm.
lot because I coming into the space of being a therapist, my position was always that whatever happens in that place, I'm putting all of my biases and everything that I am aside right outside the door, and I'm holding space for another person. And
Hmm.
I do work with a lot of people who have very, very, very different views and worldviews than I do. And
Hmm.
in this climate, a lot of people who are MAGA,
Yeah.
and working with people and to a certain extent has helped me to better understand what is going on here. So
Hmm.
there's that,
Yeah.
which is depressing all in its own right. But then add to it all the other layers, and it got to the point where I had to kind of sit with myself and say, can I provide the best therapeutic service to this person if I have to work so hard at neutrality while sitting with them? And the
Yep.
answer for me was no. And obviously, I, talked about it ad nauseum with several of my supervisors, but I had a meeting yesterday where I was talking about it, and I said something to my old man supervisor that was like, I'm not able to hold space for this kind of energy. And he kind of looked at me. He's like, he's like, I'd like to rephrase that for you because it's
Hmm.
not that you are unable. He said, it's at this point you've identified something you're unwilling to do
Yeah.
that doesn't feel good for you.
Hmm.
And he said that feels mature and that feels ethical because this
Yeah.
doesn't work for you as a person. And I said, in life, that is something I'm doing now for the first time. Like just because you can handle something doesn't mean you have to.
Right.
Just because you can be in a situation that is really damaging for you and you can get through it doesn't mean you have to.
Women are coded to do that.
I know it's so hard. And also you're kind of praised, right? For being able to handle situations that go against the very grain of your being, right? That kind of
Sure.
like
Do we
what
call it
doesn't kill you makes you
resilience?
stronger.
Look
What?
how resilient you are. You're so
Resilience.
resilient.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And I
what else was I
don't
gonna do?
I had no choice, right?
Right.
It's like I don't want to be that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to feel softer generally as a person within myself, that I'm not constantly having to, I don't know, adjust and harden my edges so I don't get hurt by just living. So it
Mm-hmm.
feels good to kind of make those choices, but it was really hard. Like
Yeah, because it's
as
almost like you didn't allow yourself to have a choice.
right.
You weren't thinking about that, right? Because you were like, this is my obligation. This is what I said I was going to do. And I think that a
Hmm.
lot of people get caught in that, like, I don't have another choice in whatever the situation is. And it's so important to take a step back and look at the whole landscape. Do you even need to be here? One, right? Or have you just historically been here and this is what you're used to?
Yeah. And what's the cost for you?
Yeah,
Because a
exactly.
lot of the times we are so used to holding so much bullshit, no one even looks at the cost to us because
Yes.
it's invisible to them because it's fine, right? It works
Yeah.
for
And
everybody else.
what is the cost? Like it, right, is we're not talking about money, even though money
No.
could be included in here at some point, but it's the way that you feel, right? It's how you feel in your gut. What are you carrying with you? Like, are you feeling heavy? Are you feeling stressed? That is the cost. And I think a lot of people live their lives in that just feeling that they're just carrying this weight that they don't even realize how much better you can feel, right?
Right.
And it goes back to the alignment and being misaligned with, people, values, the world around you. I mean, the world around us, it's kind of hard to, it's spinning
Be
off its
aligned with.
axis, if you will. Right,
Right.
Clyde?
Yeah, so that's kind of the theme of my mentee bee this week, really,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of things have ended seriously for me this week because we sold our last marital property on Wednesday. So now, for some reason, the selling of that house really set off for me. And I wasn't expecting it because this has been, my divorce has been years and years in the making. It's been a long drawn out process. And so you would think that, oh, you've had time to slowly take bites of processing. And I think to an extent some of that's true, but the other thing is that I have never been single. I've always been in a relationship. Like, so I went from marriage to another very serious committed relationship, and I've only ever been with myself for the past 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what that did for me, that the mechanism of always being in a relationship made it so that I didn't have time or space to process the ending of the other one because I had to take
Exactly.
all of my energy and put it in the other space. And I like that. I think that's what I wanted, right? Because
There's a
it
saying,
the best
you get
way
over
to get over.
your ex by getting under
Wow,
someone
Amanda.
else.
But yes, but it's not, it didn't really help me, is what I'm saying.
I
And so
know.
so
I'm
now
thinking about a lot
I'm
of those sayings lately.
Yeah, so now I'm in like I know I'm gonna be okay, but I don't feel great right now. I feel very unmoored. I feel like spinny, and a lot of like these old programs have resurfaced like gunk in my brain, telling me things like
Mm-hmm.
you've failed. You're 42 years old. You're not building a life with anybody anymore. That life you were building is totally gone. All of those years invested didn't mean anything. Like now you're gonna be quote unquote alone. Like I'm all of these things that people like worry about back in, you know what I mean, saying like they're coming back in my head, and even as my brain says them, I know I don't feel that way.
I
So I'm like,
know.
stop. Like I'm like, please stop, because like we don't feel that way. We love the life we've created. We feel good. Why is that
hmm
in my head so much?
Because it's because of how long it's taken, right? You're like stretching out the bad thing. I think if you're doing it all at once, it feels bad, right? But at the same time, you're in that. Okay, it's like you're getting divorced, you're selling this, you're getting this, you're out of this, and then it's like right? You've
Right.
really had just like lots of opportunities to feel every single piece of it because in between those events, you're healing, right? You're healing, and then something pulls you right back in to that mindset, to that headspace where you're breaking up again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're ending things.
Yeah.
These are all big things.
It's all big things. And, for all intents and purposes, that relationship was my whole adult life, right? So I don't even know who I am without somebody else to bounce off of. And
Yeah.
that I think is the dynamic I'm learning now. Who are you without bouncing off of another person, right? Who
Yeah.
am I? And I think as people, part of our mechanism, we are social creatures, is bouncing off of people, right? It's
Hmm.
kind of like sonar. Like
Yeah.
that's how we learn how we affect others and where we belong and all that kind of stuff. But what is my identity without bouncing off of another person? And can I find that? And can I be okay with that? Because
Hmm.
moving forward into future relationships, I don't think I want that dynamic anymore. I don't want to not know who I am without bouncing off of somebody. I want to know who I am first and then have different experiences of self by bouncing off of other people, you know?
I do.
So this has been fun and I don't recommend, but it is what it is. Like it's been very spinny and weird for me.
Hmm. Yeah. I was telling someone, they didn't ask, but I was just telling them if I could do something differently, kind of laughing thinking about this. I would have spent my 20s
Hmm.
doing whatever like I wanted to do.
Yes.
I would have not spent my 20s chasing some no good man, okay? Someone's dusty ass son with all of these issues that require so much therapy,
Actual
okay?
therapy.
I would have been just living, literally just living, right? Like why? Why did I even do that? Why did I spend my time? Anyhow, but I think it is to the point of I just was bouncing off of just bouncing from one relationship to the next, like
Well,
making
and
that my
yeah.
identity.
Yeah, but that's also, the part of how we were taught, right? Because it's in your 20s. Well, back in we didn't have a lot of feedback for a different kind of life back then. So it was kind of like you grow up and you find a person and you make
Hmm.
a life with that person. You go from your parents to the other
Hmm.
person, and then you have to put all of your effort into that. You got to do a good job. You got to come on, you got this. Like you find this diamond in the rough and make them better. Like
Yep.
it was such a thing, right?
Yeah.
It was
Well,
such a
yes, because the
thing.
coding in there is that a man doesn't actually need to treat you right. And if he's not, you should just try harder to be more accommodating so that it can be easier for him to treat you like a
Decently.
human,
Like a regular human.
like a
Like
regular human.
which is really difficult to unpack sometimes because it's like, why is that hard? It's so hard. Like, oh my God. It kind of makes you wild. But yeah, so I agree with you. Like, imagine spending your 20s really figuring out who you are and having
Yeah.
the support to do that and not having everybody around you saying, "Oh, are you going to get married? Are you going to get married? Are you going to get married? Are you going to have kids? Are you going to have kids? Are you going to have kids?" It's like I am a kid and I'm supposed to get out here and figure out who I am first, not
Hmm.
be the caretaker of someone else's grown kid.
Yeah, go out there, get on a plane, go somewhere, just, live your life, move. Um,
Experience
yeah.
things. And so and I think now, like in my 40s, I can sort of do that in a way. Like I'm starting to kind of be like, can I do that? Can I just go do stuff?
Yeah, you can do that and you can like rent a car too
I
while you're
can.
doing it. That's
I can
something
rent
you
a
can't
car.
do in the first half of your 20s, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's really something. And so yeah, this time period has been a lot. And so also just kind of circling back to me. Well, you
Because
know
we
what?
strayed so far. honestly.
I'm having a week. I needed to talk to my sister and our five audience members. So because I picked a really interesting time to be a therapist. And
Yeah.
I would have said that this would be totally fine for me, but it is a lot for me. Being a therapist right now is a lot for me. It is taking a lot out of me. It's kind of breaking my heart in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And the answers we have right now in psychology and like the world of therapy are completely unsuited to support what people need now. The
Right.
more that I get involved in this, the more I understand that my place is not to prop up the previous teachings of psychology and therapy for the next generation. That I think my job is to deconstruct it and to be more of a human.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in school, we had a lot of discussion about showing your own emotions and
Mm-hmm.
countertransference in a therapeutic session. And I I am of the school that I want a therapist who can show their emotions, who is a person, but also walks that fine line of making me feel like they have their shit under control enough to help me, right? So
Yeah.
it's like that special balance of I know that you're human and you're also affected by things, but also I
Mm-hmm.
trust you to be able to hold space for me to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent that doesn't activate my need to hold space for you.
Right. Yeah.
But, a lot of the things that we're dealing with right now are not normal. They're like massive human rights violations in every single way.
Yeah.
Like every single way. And so navigating them is really, really hard. I have a lot of clients who are trans, and that like last week was breaking my heart every day. And I actually had a session with a client where they were telling me something that was upsetting them, and it just like punched me in the stomach, Amanda. And I just started crying. Like because I'm just like, I can't believe that this is what we're doing right now. Like I can't believe
Yeah.
this is a conversation we're having. And so we had a moment where we both just cried, and it was maybe like 25 seconds. And
I thought
I
you were going
kept
to say
it.
25 minutes, and I was like, oh my God.
And now our time is up. No, but 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And we had that moment together. And I think that was really healing for both of us. Not
Mm-hmm.
that we fixed the problem, because it's not our problem that's not our problem, right?
Right.
But we were human together.
Mm-hmm.
And I
And
think
that's
that
yeah,
is the thing.
important. It is. It's even if I think about working in corporate America and all of the corporate speak, it's kind of the same deal of everyone speaks in a very specific way. You're being professional, right? But we all are seeking a human, right?
Yes,
Like
human connection.
I hear your corporate your jargon. I understand what you're saying. But like being able to um just speak normally to people. You
Yeah.
really like if you I find that if you just say something normal, like you would talk to another person, be like, "So, how's your day actually?" Or like
Yeah.
make a joke. You break down that barrier almost immediately with so many people because they are not anticipating you to actually be normal or be a human. They're
No.
expecting, you know, hey, just wanted to check in on the email that I sent last week. Circling back on that, we really need to drive these business outcomes and move things forward
I
together.
know. What a parade of clowns we are in right now. Like what is even going on? It's just like it just really gives you a dystopian vibe, right? But
Hmm.
what are we doing if not searching for the connection in all of this? Like we have to be able to do that. And I think that's our lifeline really is rehumanizing ourselves, right? Like
Hmm.
not being so desensitized, but also not being so sensitive that you can't function. Finding meaning through the connection and finding joy, finding something to do
Hmm.
with your time that's not just despairing. Maybe getting off of your phone more. I'm finding that I might even get that block thing because I'm scrolling too much. I'm
I
scrolling too much.
I'm just looking at my phone for seemingly no reason.
Right. It's just a reflex. It's like a
Hmm.
cigarette. It's like a cigarette. Maybe I'll take up that instead, like
Oh,
just
perfect. Great.
something more analog.
Just a little bit of an old school problem as opposed to a
Yes.
new school one. I got you.
I do
Very
find that the
whimsy.
younger generations are going back to old school vices, and it's kind of nostalgic.
Oh my gosh.
What's not
I
nostalgic is like the early 2000s, everything else that's happening, like, anorexia, low
yeah.
rise genes. Like, what is
No,
going
no, no.
on,
You know what?
everybody?
The movie Sidekick with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis, that's nostalgic.
Why did that make such an impression on us? That was like my first lesbian crush, Jonathan Brandis. He
Poor
shaped
Jonathan
everything for
Brandis.
me.
Well, he had asthma. Uh, Asthma was a big deal. I'm forgetting the plot of the movie, but now that I'm thinking about it, it was a young boy that wanted to learn karate
I don't remember
and
that
from
at
Chuck
all, but
Norris, and he was always having an asthma attack.
oh, is that his issue?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My man
Breathing
needed
is
a new
important.
hobby. No, I mean, if anyone knows the plot to Sidekick, I mean, it was called Sidekick, right? Anyhow, I was
Yeah.
thinking that like Yin Yangs, Pogs, all these things nostalgic. Madonna, some
Oh my God. Do you
Cher,
know what's back too? Eli showed me a picture yesterday of a G-Shock watch.
Baby G. Okay.
Baby G.
I remember very specifically that the cousins got me a Baby G watch for my birthday, and I felt like the coolest ever. It had a screen, right? There's a lot going. See, this is where our
Yeah.
addiction to screens. We were like, yes.
Well,
And
I
there was
mean, it
just a
was not
little
a big
piece.
screen.
No, it was just a little piece over the top, and if you pressed one of the buttons, this like little guy did a dance, and he like, ooh, and that was just
Just
chef's
prime,
kiss. Give me the time and a little dance, and
a
I am
little
just here for
dance.
it. Just a little whimsy, you know?
Yeah, so okay. So we don't usually do this, but let's start. What's something that we can do in the next week to bring a little more whimsy to our lives? We should think
We
about
can
that.
do what we said we were gonna do
Which is
last
what?
week, and
What do we say?
we can record our video for our whatever game show we want to be a part of. We got to start applying to game shows. That's whimsy as hell.
It feels
Um,
like a task though. I need like something that's going to be like a whimsy thing that I do during the day. That doesn't feel like a task.
uh,
We don't have to think of it right now, but I put it out to, people who are listening to, like, what can you do this weekend to give yourself a little bit of whimsy? Just a little something,
it,
you don't have to be productive.
there are so many low-hanging fruit for people here. Go get your nails done and get
Mm.
them a color you've never gotten before. Get a bright color. That's
A little
whimsy as
whimsy.
hell, you know?
It is whimsy. Maybe paint a
Yeah.
room. Should you paint a room? I was thinking
It's
about painting a
so
room.
funny that you say that
Is
because
it?
there is a room here in my house that is dying for Black Fox by Sherwin-Williams, and I don't know which one it is yet.
I think it's my bedroom.
Oh, see, you still have that. Maybe we should all paint your bedroom when we're there for Easter.
Yeah.
How quick would we be able to do that? We could
I
just
feel like we
leave
could just leave Ryan to do
Ryan.
it.
We could just leave him there, right? Actually, you know what's funny? Ryan doesn't paint in this house.
Oh.
I've pretty much painted everything that we have. Well, I mean, we had the whole house professionally painted. I didn't paint this room, but the rooms, like the bathroom, I did. The basement, I did. I guess he did his office, but I'm usually
Hmm.
the
You're usually the painter. It's because
yeah,
we don't have time for all of the prep that he requires.
right, exactly. I will be barefoot
It's like I want
with
to
a paper
paint.
towel, and I'm like, ah, why is the paint getting everywhere?
I know, but it's like when you want to paint, it's not like, oh, let's prepare. It's like I have to paint right freaking now.
It's like we gotta go. We gotta paint. Yeah, we literally,
I
and that is
know.
the kind of
It's
manic
called a manic
energy.
episode, yeah.
Yes, that comes like around a certain type time in the cycle, and when you
Mm-hmm.
pair it with a season, I mean
Ooh,
that's where spring cleaning came from, right? I was
let's paint
literally giving
something.
Lucas a bath, and I was like, I think I'm gonna paint your bathroom.
He's like, wow,
And he's
mom.
like,
Also,
oh,
just
okay.
of note. Oh, hi, Steph. Just of note that Lucas is very cute. And this
Hmm.
morning they FaceTime me early in the morning. I was still in bed and they were in bed. And he wanted to see all of my animals and like all the things.
Hmm.
And then I went to reach for baby cat, right? And he goes,
Hmm.
oh, I like your nails. I was
My
like, thank
baby.
you. He
He
notices the little details.
he literally laid down next to me and he was like, "Let's go us a beans. Let's go us
Mm.
a beans." And I was like, "All right, Lucas, like we can do it." Yeah, he does notice those little
He
things. He's
noticed the
very
little
sweet.
things. He noticed differences. He's like, "Are you wearing a shirt?"
He has literally shown more interest in your life in the time between 7:25 and 7:27 than your mother has in the past 38 years.
Lucas said, "I'm your mother now."
Lucas Lucas is hopping on the bandwagon. He's like, "Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? I love your nails."
Yeah, but you know what? This is really great because you're training him to be a man that women want to be around.
Well, I think we also focus a lot on making sure that our kids don't do negative things, don't pick up negative things, that when they start picking up things that are positive that we do, it's like, "Oh my God, that is sweet."
Yeah, I'm a sweet person.
Yeah.
They must have gotten it. I don't mean I don't have a whole lot of that happening these days, but um, on that note, you don't have to run, right? You don't have to rush.
Mm-mm, I
So
don't.
we could keep talking a little bit because I have something else to say.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, tell me.
I was actually thinking to myself, our 30 minutes is never enough because we were like just kind of warming up by 30, you know, but we have
When
things
usually
to
by the
do.
time we get to these 30 minutes, Sarah, we have spoken 327 times in the week.
Well, right, but I'm talking about when we get on the podcast.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
the other thing that has been the thing on my mind is just what is wrong with men? Like, generally speaking, I have deep concerns and I am looking at my men's and I'm like, "Oh God, like are we gonna how do I make sure this doesn't happen?" And so just I don't even know how to tell this story briefly, but basically, I had an experience where I connected with someone, you know, on the app, and they seemed really nice. And one of the things with me, which everyone is saying to me, and I think you're saying it too, is like you don't like men, and I
But
hear you. But I can do anything I want right now, and that's kind of what I just want to do, right? Is and
hmm
I like meeting people. So if I match with a man and he seems cool, I'll go out and have a drink, right? That's cool. It's
why
fine.
not?
It's for the plot, bitch. It's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, so I matched with somebody and I recently made my profile very man repellent, like deeply repellent. So if somebody likes it now, they have seen what is happening and they're like, I'll give this a shot, right? I'll message this lesbian. So anyway, this person connected with me and said something funny and I was like, okay. And on their profile it said bisexual, and I am more willing to connect with a bisexual man than a straight man because at least I know his brain has a little more prismatic functioning, right? It's not
Sure,
just
yeah.
back and forth, back and forth. Maybe it's a little side to side. So that's better. Makes for a better conversation. So all's good. Gives me enough information that I can find who he is on the internet because it doesn't take much. So I go and I find information that basically says he needs money for a ongoing legal support case to get his kid or something. And I was like, this raises some red flags for me in a lot of different ways because you don't usually get into a situation like that by being a good person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
but you could,
You
but it's
could.
possible, right?
It's possible. Here
It's
you go,
possible.
giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Always, right? But the thing that I have been really feeling into lately is getting out of my head and going more with what my body and my heart are feeling, and then letting
Okay,
my head actually execute those things. So my
sure.
gut was telling me something is off here, but
hmm
then my head was like, but don't be a bitch, meh, 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 whatever, right?
Yep.
So one of my friends said, you know, go on and do a little, I can't give you too much information on this, but go on and do a little more digging on the internet. And I did. And I found out that this person has basically a restraining order against them, has racked up credit card debt on hookers, like just all this stuff from a credible source. I found this out. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
And so, did you give him the opportunity to explain, Sarah?
So actually, funny story. I am a person who is not a fan of ghosting because I find it to be rude. But I sat with this for about 30 seconds, because we only talked for one day. It was not a long time. And I said, I don't care enough. I don't care enough. Like, loser. I don't care enough.
Yeah.
So I just blocked him and unmatched and moved on with my life because I don't care enough. But the thing is that these men are on here. Like I was on Threads this morning looking at this, being like,
Ugh,
oh,
threads.
men are so lonely. There's a loneliness epidemic. And it's like there is a loneliness epidemic because this is yet another thing you want a woman to fix for you, right?
Yeah.
You like, I don't feel happy. Why doesn't the woman want to fix it for me? And it's like, she does actually. She does want to fix it for you. Every straight woman I know is willing to take on a medium ugly man as long as he doesn't lie to her profusely, have diseases that he's going to give her, and, isn't diabolical.
Mm-hmm.
The bar is in hell at this point
Hell.
because straight women like to have sex with men and they can't help it.
They
So
can't help it. It's a mental
they can't
illness in
help it. It's
itself.
yes. And all they are asking is that you don't be a literal criminal at this point and actively fuck their lives. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't even do that. You can't even do that. So if you're lonely, you have earned it.
Yes. Yeah. You got to be mature and ethical these days if you're going to get anywhere. And that's the truth.
It's
That
the
applies
truth.
to so many things.
Yeah. But again, since the bar is so in hell and there's such a vacuous need for somewhat decent straight men, like there isn't it's like Sarah Lawrence out here, honestly, because it's like there's five straight guys and then lesbians. And then so every girl who's straight is like has to choose from these five guys. And the five guys are the worst because they have too much demand. There's too much
They have
demand.
too much demand.
And so they're pumped full of nonsense and nobody's willing to tell them how mid they are, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
again, you don't have to do a lot to get a person at this point. Just don't be a criminal.
Don't
Literally
be a
don't be a criminal.
criminal.
Take a shower, have a job,
Oh,
don't be a criminal. Like why are those things so difficult?
I don't know. The showering one really gets me too.
That gets me too. It's like it's very weird behavior. I don't know if you I know you don't, but if our audience members are reality TV, but the newest season of Love is Blind dropped,
Mm-hmm.
and that actually was one of the best seasons because of the women. The women are healing and they are calling out the men, and there were some real moments in that show where I was like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, like, thank you, ladies. One woman was like, yeah, it's going to be a no from me. I'm going to choose myself. Thank you.
Go off,
Go off. So I,
honestly.
I highly recommend if you need a little bit of a break from whatever else you're doing and you just want to like veg.
Sleeping.
Yeah, like,
I usually just sleep in the time when people
well,
watch TV.
I mean, I love a little junky reality television, but I especially love it when the women start like being like, no, we're not
Like I
tolerating
was like,
this.
wait, that was an option?
Yeah.
Yeah, because guess
And
what? She
yeah,
has a choice.
she has a choice. And this other woman, I was watching last night, this other woman was like, um, a previous version of myself, even last year, would have said yes to you and would have tried so hard to fix this and would have tried so
Yes.
hard to change myself to make it work and think that I was the problem. But the
Ah,
fact is, you are the
on
problem.
the put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah. She's like, you are inconsistent. You are a liar. And I deserve so much more than what
Yes,
you are providing.
queen.
And I was like, oh, and her father was in the audience and he was just like, that's my girl.
Ah.
He's like, yeah, heck yeah, girl. He's like, I support whatever you do, but yeah, that's my girl. It was, it was,
Mm.
it was really good. It was really, really good. And I don't think I've spoiled it for you because you won't be able to know who that was. But and then there was like another girl who is a very successful doctor, has a gorgeous house, like she's got everything going on. And the guy who chose her, I think he couldn't handle it. Like he couldn't handle the fact that she didn't need him like that. So he
Mm-hmm.
decided to make her feel bad about her body out of nowhere, out of
Mm.
nowhere. And made himself look like a real asshole. So I really enjoyed this season because it just really shows that if you are a man and you're lonely, just take a look around, right? Take a look
Mm-hmm.
around. All women are asking of you is that you don't be a criminal and you don't be awful. And so if you are lonely and you are getting rejected, just take a look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look at the wake of destruction around you.
Go ahead, record yourself talking. Listen to
Yeah.
it later. See if any
Look
of
at your
those
house
words. Yeah, look at your house.
or your
Do you
mother's
have
house.
folding chairs? Hmm? Do you have folding chairs
Do you have
as
folding chairs?
furniture? Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm.
you have furniture that could be outside inside?
Do you spend the most money on your gaming?
Hmm. Is your
Mm.
bathroom dirty?
Do you
Is there
have light up
hairs?
LEDs on the top of your ceiling in
Do
your
you have a
room?
lava lamp?
Are you 14 and a half?
Did you fill empty alcohol bottles with water and food coloring and make them decor?
Do you have crusty socks underneath your bed?
Think about it. All we're saying is just think about it.
Think about it. And if you need help, don't ask us about it because we don't want to help anybody like that anymore. Go to a therapist.
Yeah, you need a therapist.
You need a therapist. Yes, Beth, make sure you watch the most recent one. It's the most recent one. Ohio. Love is Blind, Ohio.
Ohio.
Anyway,
All
I'm gonna
right.
go
Well,
now and
well, I've had enough. This was good. Thank you. Thank you for strong arming me into this. Even though I basically said to Sarah, I was like, I think I need to spend more time with my family because I haven't been home all week. And she literally texted my husband.
yeah, in the
She was
group
like,
text, I
hey,
said, "Hey, can Amanda play?"
hey. And he would never say no. So he's like, obviously.
Yeah, and then he said, "Yes, of
Yeah,
course." And
obviously.
yeah, because I'm like, "What do you mean? Like they deserve your attention? What does that even mean? You give them
It's
so
because
much
you
of
know, the
you."
thing is, you know what was weird about this week? It was like I really shouldn't have been here ever. I should have been away for a week, but everyone came here. So I had to leave early in the morning. So I was just like, I can't help you with anything. I got to shower and leave, it
Mm,
took everything I had to not get up an hour earlier and like just
peace
make sure
out.
everything was done. I was like, no, because I'm not here. So there was that.
Yeah,
And then, I was coming home late. And so on this morning, I didn't want to rush anyone out of the house. But then I'm also not working today. So then we were more flexible with the time.
yeah. So it's all
Um,
good. Like
it's all
just
good.
just get it together.
It's all
Anyway,
good.
I hope you have a good weekend. I'm gonna have a good weekend. I'm actually going to see Steph's band play on
Ooh,
Sunday.
Steph,
Yeah.
yay. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
so I'm
that.
excited for that. And
Daylight
you know,
savings is this weekend. So we've made it
oh,
through. Okay. We've made it through the darkness. The light is coming. It is always the darkest before the dawn. Remember that. All right. Well, I love you, sis. I'll talk to you soon.
bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to I'm Your Mother Now podcast, an Amala Moon production. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if I've done the RSS feed properly, wherever you get your pods. You can follow us on Instagram at IYMN_podcast to watch us live on Friday mornings and catch the full episodes on our YouTube channel, I'm Your Mother Now podcast. We'd love if you could share this with a friend who'd vibe with the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps more people to find us. We'll see you next week. Bye.